Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and today I have a little review for you of the new Sister Love collection by Essence and Catrice. It's another Disney collab that they did. So they did collab together and then also with Disney. So they already have a collab like this, I think 1 year ago, and I did also do a review video on the products from that collection. So I thought it would be fun to see if the products in this collaboration, this round, are the same quality, are they better or worse or different, I don't know. We will see in this video. And as you can see, I have picked quite some products. I have picked up, again, like the last time, 2 eyeshadow palettes, one from Essence and one from Catrice. So both of them did a little collection on 3 different princesses this time. Last time it was that one brand did 3 different collections for 3 villains and the other one did 3 princesses, and this time we have all princesses. This time we have a bit more variety in the princesses, which I think is great. And I picked up the Belle eyeshadow palette from the Catrice collection, and I picked up the Mulan palette from the Essence collection. Then I did also pick up 4 brushes. 2 of them are the same, so there are 3 brushes in this collection, and they are from Essence. And then I did also pick up the 3 lip balms. They were from Catrice. I just wanted to stick to the things that excited me in this collection and that kind of sparked my interest. So that's what I have here. I already know that I love the brushes from Essence, so it was a no-brainer to pick up all the brushes. This one here, you can see that I have already used them because the tips were lighter. It was this color and now they are all darker because I already used them and I love them. The quality is amazing. I love Essence brushes. They are just so good. They became some of my favorite brushes in like no time, and now I'm obsessed with them. So whenever they release some new brushes, I pick them up because they're so inexpensive. I think all of them were around €3 and they are so good. So soft, beautiful for blending. I love these a bit more densely packed brushes for my lower lash line. Here you can see they have the little princesses here on the handle. So this is the Rapunzel one. Then the blending brush is the Jasmine one. And then the big powder brush is Mulan. So these were the 3 princesses that were in the Essence collection, and I picked up the Mulan eyeshadow palette. And I will show it to you in a minute, but these are the brushes. I think if you're in the market for brushes, you can't do anything wrong with these because they're just so good. Very soft and very nice to use. So I highly recommend these. There were 4 left when I picked them up, and I picked them up one day after they released in stores here in Austria. So I could get them in a store, in a drugstore, but there were so many things already sold out. But I'm glad that I did have to go to 2 stores to get everything that I wanted. So I was able to catch these, and yes, I would recommend them if you're in the market for brushes. Now let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. So I wasn't really planning to pick up the Belle and the Mulan one. I wanted to pick up the Ariel one and the Jasmine one, but I swatched them in store and I didn't like what I felt when swatching them and what I saw, because I don't know, I wasn't a fan of the shimmers in those palettes. But let me get more in depth into that when I show you these 2. So let's start with the Mulan palette. So this is from the Essence collection, and this is what the inside is looking like. And I feel like it's a pretty, I don't know, it's not a very typical color story for me because it's very warm toned. But what got me is that first I really wanted to try one eyeshadow palette from the Essence collection, one from the Catrice collection. And the Rapunzel eyeshadow palette didn't speak to me in terms of color story. I think it was a bit more mauvey or pinky toned. And then the Jasmine one was the one I was really interested in. It was a purple one. But I don't know, I swatched it and I really didn't like it. I mean, the mattes were okay, but there were so many shimmers in the palette and the shimmers, I don't know, they were chunky or not showing up, and I just didn't like it. So I don't know if the quality might be better than the swatches look like. It can be, you know, it happens all the time, but I just didn't feel like trying it. And what really got me in this palette is this very cool tone transition shade here, which I think is beautiful. And also, I just love Mulan so much as a princess. So she's one of my favorite Disney princesses, and yes, I just wanted to get her palette. Here in a close-up you can see a bit better how beautiful these imprints are of the little fans in here. It's very beautiful. Then we have one of the marble eyeshadows in here, and we have a ton of very soft shimmers. So let me get more into detail about the quality of this palette. So you get 16 eyeshadows in here, and 6 of them are matte. So there are 10 metallic shimmer glittery eyeshadows in here. In the last collection we had some pressed glitters, and they didn't do that this time, which I think is awesome. And then the quality, I feel like the last time, let me zoom you a bit more in. So the quality, I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of it, to be honest. I feel like the last time, with the last collection they did with Disney, the quality has been better. So the eyeshadow palette that I tried, especially the one from Essence and also the one from Catrice. So the last time this format of eyeshadow palette was in the Catrice collection and the other one was in the Essence, so they switched that around this time. But I feel like the eyeshadow quality, I did try the Ariel palette from Essence last time and the quality was amazing. I was really impressed by it. And in this one here, I feel like the mattes perform very nicely. I did try these 3 here, oh, and this one. So I tried 4 of the mattes, I only didn't try these 2 more warm toned ones, and I think the quality is really nice, but it's a sheer matte formula, which I feel like is pretty typical for Essence and also for drugstore formulas in general a bit. And I don't mind that as long as you can, you know, as long as I can layer them up, which I think is possible. So you just have to build it up and build it up until, you know, it is as intense as you want it. But I feel like, especially with this eyeshadow here, if this would have been an ABH or Natasha Denona eyeshadow, it would be very deep, even more deep than you can see it now in the pan here. But with Essence and the formula in here and also in the Catrice palette, it's even lighter than you can see it here. So I feel like you should keep that in mind if you want to purchase one of these, and especially if you want to, you know, purchase them online and you can't swatch them in stores. So every eyeshadow shows up even lighter than you can see it in the pan, and you can't really get them to be as deep as maybe I would prefer. So I feel like the way to go with these eyeshadows is to layer something a bit deeper in a metallic and then layer the other shadow on top of it, or just layer maybe 2 shades together to make them a bit deeper. But yeah, that's one of the things I feel like is a bit lacking in these palettes, is that they don't offer enough depth. And then another thing that I wasn't the biggest fan of is that the shimmers are very, how can I say it, a bit they were pretty lackluster. They are more like satins, and I mean that's okay. I think that a lot of people like satins and like to use them for everyday looks, and they don't want like intense sparkle all the time. I totally get that, but for me personally, I don't really get a lot of use out of satins, and it's a formula from Essence that I know from before, and I just don't like it because I don't use it that much, because I feel like when I apply it and I blend around the edges, it kind of blends away the eyeshadow in total. So I don't know. Let me swatch some of these for you. I feel like the only eyeshadow that is different is this marble one in here. But the thing with this one is that these marbles kind of, I don't know, they have a bit of a glittery feel to them. So actually, it's the shade you see below. So it's an olive or silvery olive. And then these white pearlized things you can see here, so that they make the marble imprint. They, when you swatch it or when you swirl your finger in it or your brush, they kind of get crushed and you have like tiny specks of glitter in them. Then I will swatch it so you can see it a bit better. Let me swatch some other eyeshadow. Let me swatch the gold in this little star here. So this has been the marble one. It's this one here. And you can see it doesn't really do a ton, but I feel like what the camera can pick up, that I can see tiny specks of white sparkle in it, which I think is really nice, and it's my favorite shimmer in this palette. But I don't know if you can see it. I feel like on camera they look way better than in real life because the lighting is really doing something for them. But in real life they're just, I don't know, just very soft and not very intense metallic, but they are okay for everyday look. So don't get me wrong, it's not a bad palette, and I wouldn't say that you wouldn't enjoy it if you like these softer shimmer formulas. So if you like that, if you prefer a bit of a less intense metallic, and you prefer a shimmer over a metallic, and you prefer a satin over a metallic or something sparkly, then I feel like it's a great formula. And I feel like even, you know, if you want to gift it to maybe a teenager who wants to wear it for school or something, I feel like it's a good formula for that purpose. And also, if you're looking to have a palette like this for like maybe, I don't know, office appropriate looks, I don't know what that means, because I feel like that's different in every office and in every workspace. You can wear different things, or you want to wear different things, so it totally is very individual. But I think that for people who cannot wear that much makeup to work, I feel like it's a good option. And yes, that's kind of my review. So I'm kind of in the middle. I don't think that it's bad, but I'm not blown away by it like I was last year when they did this Disney collab. So I was expecting a bit more, and so I'm a tiny bit, you know, let down by it. And I don't think that I will keep this palette. So for me, I think I kind of regret buying this one, and I wouldn't pick up another one of these ones from Essence. But if you know, like the formulas I described, maybe it is something for you. I would highly recommend swatching these palettes before you buy them. So this retails for $9.99, which I think is an awesome price for something like it, but it's just not my favorite formula. So I think I will give this palette away to someone I know likes a formula like this more and doesn't want to wear too much and too intense eyeshadow. So I know that I will film another declutter in December, so I will keep it for that video, and then I think I will get rid of this one. The packaging, by the way, is very cute. We have this dark gray steely color in the background, which I like more than the brighter silver they did last year, but it's the princess in the front and it's very cute. And these little things here are sparkly and you can feel them when you go over it with your finger. So I think they did a good job with the packaging. Now let's talk about the palette from Catrice. It's the Belle eyeshadow palette, and I was planning on picking up the Ariel one. So I'm just going to show you the inside. This is a very bright, very beautiful, I don't know, neutral leaning palette, because I feel like it has a bit warm, a bit cool, and this is a bit more warm, this is a bit more cool, so it kind of mixes it together, which I think they did a good job in here. You have a beautiful yellow and then these two blues and a lot of sparkly champagne-y golden beautiful, I don't know, eyeshadows in here. So I feel like they did a good job with the color story. I think it totally tells you that it's the Belle palette, and yes, I really do like the color story. I feel like they did a great job here. One thing that they could have changed is this eyeshadow here is almost looking the same as this one. It does have a tiny bit of, I don't know, maybe it's a tiny bit more like a satin. No, it's basically a matte. Yeah, so I feel like we wouldn't have needed this eyeshadow in here and this one, because it's also a matte cream eyeshadow, so you can use it for the same thing. So I feel like if we would have gotten another shade in one of these two, it would have been better. Maybe a blue matte would have been cool, but yeah. Overall, I feel like the color story is very beautiful. It does really remind me of the Natasha Denona Gold palette, to be honest. I do have that palette in my collection, and there are so many different sparkly, golden, bronzy eyeshadows in here that, I don't know, just the overall vibe I feel like is similar. So maybe this is a good alternative for the Natasha Denona Gold palette, but I don't know if you can get this palette, but if you can, I would say it is a really good alternative, especially when it comes to the shimmer eyeshadows. The mattes, you know, it's really different. So the formula is very different and from Natasha Denona. Also the shimmers, but I feel like the shimmers can give you a bit of a similar, more like a similar vibe than the mattes can do. So just to put it out there, this palette retails for I think €12.99. So I think it's a very good price. You get 18 eyeshadows in here, and I did like this one a lot better than the Mulan one because there are so many beautiful, extremely sparkly eyeshadows in here, and the formula is really nice. So let me swatch some of these. I feel like at first I thought they would be more dry and, you know, not picking up that good, and I don't know, just wasn't the biggest fan at first. So when I first swatched them, I was a bit let down, but then I put them on my eyes and oh my god, they are so beautiful, so sparkly. They look so much more high-end than I thought they would. So I hope that you can see it, but they are way more metallic and sparkly than the ones in the Mulan palette. And the camera, again, doesn't pick up the sparkle, but these two are so sparkly. This one is a bit of a duochrome. You can see it has a bit of a red base, and then it shifts to this bright, almost greenish gold. That's why it reminds me so much of the Natasha Denona Gold palette, because this one is like, I don't know, a very less intense sister of lime chrome, but way less intense. So they are maybe more like cousins, not sisters. And then these two are so beautiful sparkle toppers, like, what are they called? Sparks and Kava in the Natasha Denona Gold palette. So I really feel like you can get almost similar looks. This one is a beautiful brown metallic with a black base to it. So it adds a lot of depth to this palette, because the only thing that I don't like in here is that the darkest shade is this warm toned leaning brown, and it's very sheer. So when you want to build it up, you can just get it to, like, I don't know, maybe a bit over a mid-toned brown, but not deeper than that. So it doesn't really is as deep as you can see it in here. But when you apply this one here first, this one has the dark black base, and then you top it with this one, you get a very dark brown, which I think is awesome. So because of this eyeshadow, I feel like it's okay that this one isn't showing up as deep as I would want it. So I feel like this offers me enough depth and definition in this palette. But overall, again, I just feel like it's a very light palette, and it would have benefited from some more mid-tones and some deeper eyeshadows. And then, I mean, all these beautiful sparkly eyeshadows here, they are very light. So this one here, it looks a bit deeper. It is so bright and light, and this one as well. So I feel like this is the only eyeshadow that isn't like a very light metallic. And then this one here is very sheer. I haven't used it on my eyes yet because I really didn't like how it swatched. So let me just swatch it for you. It was very sheer. And then not very intense. Okay, so it does look better on camera than it does in real life, but you can see it looks a bit patchy and not so even. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I feel like you really have to build it up more to get it to be more intense. Oh, and it already looks way better now. So maybe I should give it a go. It's not the worst that I've seen, so I think you may be able to make it work. But I wouldn't buy this palette for the two blues in here. This one looks very silver. Oh, it's a beautiful shade. It's one of my, I love these very silvery periwinkle blues. So this actually looks very nice. Yes. So you can see, I mean, they look great together. So I feel like they really did a great job with this palette. So this is one that I would highly recommend. And also because there are so many different champagne and golden sparkly eyeshadows in here, I really, really like this formula. It's really good. This is a beautiful inner corner highlight. These two are very smooth, and this one here. And then these are a bit more chunky and glittery, and oh, I love them. I love them. The formula is so good. I don't know what they did in here, but it's awesome. So this is one that I'm definitely going to keep, and I'm going to wear it a lot, especially now during the holiday season. I feel like it's a perfect palette for that. So I know it's Belle themed, but if you take that away, I think this is a great light golden neutral palette that you can use for everyday looks and for glam looks as well. So I feel like it's the perfect palette for this time of the year, or you know, just for the holiday season. I feel like having some kind of a light golden champagne sparkly topper eyeshadow on your lids every day is just so beautiful and so, yeah, fitting to the season. So I'm excited for this one. I really wasn't expecting it. I wanted to pick up the Ariel palette, which has, I think, 6 blue or teal eyeshadows here, and I did swatch them and I didn't like them. So I picked up this one instead because it swatched so much better. So now I don't know, if I feel like the formulas are very different in every palette. So if you don't know which one to pick, I would say the Belle one is a great one. If you don't mind to have so much light mattes in here and so many similar sparkly topper eyeshadows. If you don't mind that and you like the color story, I would say go for the Belle one, because the other ones, I just don't know. I thought if I try one, they will all be kind of similar, like they were last year. I felt that they were a lot more similar. And this time around, I feel like every single palette is different to the other ones in the collection. So you really have to watch reviews on all of them or swatch all of them in stores and see which one you really like. So for me, I swatched all of them, and this one was the best one of the Catrice palettes to pick up, and I'm really happy that I did. I really do like this palette. So I feel like it's definitely worth the price, and I'm glad that I have it. Again, the packaging is very beautiful. It's golden, so it also looks very festive, I feel like, and yeah, I do like it. Now, the last thing that I have are these 3 lip balms, and last year they did release 3 lipsticks in the Disney collection, and they were the full satin formula from Catrice. And this year they're again from Catrice, and they're the lip balms, and I think I have never tried a lip balm from Catrice, and let me tell you, these are amazing. So I picked up all 3 of them because 2 reasons. First, I just love lip products, always. I love trying new lip products, so I just wanted to try them, but I think I could have also just picked up 1 or 2 of them to try the formulas, but I did pick up, I think, 1 at first, and then I swatched it. Then I applied it to my lips when, after I've bought it. And I fell so in love with the formula and how it looks and how it feels that I picked up all of them. Because I don't know, they were, I think, $4.99 or something around €5 each, and they felt just so good, and the colors are all beautiful, so I just wanted to get all of them. So let me show you some more close-ups. So the first one is the Ariel one. It's 010, and you can see here is the princess. The packaging is a matte golden one this time. Last year it was like a shiny silver. So here in the middle, in the front, you can see a little crown and then the Disney logo, and then you can see this beautiful imprint, and it looks like there is some overlay of a bit golden sparkle. So this is a very light pink shade. When you apply it, this is one swipe. So it has the tiniest bit of color payoff. And then you can just layer it up until it has a beautiful, beautiful tiny bit of color, a lot of shine. it feels so moisturizing and nourishing, and yeah, I cannot speak highly enough of this formula. It's so good. So this is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It doesn't have sparkle in it. You can just see it on the bullet, but then when you apply it, there's no sparkle. So it's just shine. So maybe the sparkle transfers into shine when you apply it to your lips, or maybe it's just an overlay that you don't really see. So this is Ariel. It's so stunning. Then the next one is Belle, and you can see it's a bit of a deeper pinky tone. As you can see, the Ariel one is a bit more of a baby pink, very, very light one, and the Belle one is a bit more rosy than pink. So both are very beautiful. I would say the Belle one is my favorite, but both are so beautiful, and the formula is so nice. And the color, it really shows up, and it isn't patchy at all. So you can really, you have one swipe and you have the perfect color payoff, and it's just so beautiful. So again, this is the Belle one. Look at this bullet. It's so pretty, and you can see it's like a diamond shaped here. It's just so pretty. I'm so impressed by these lip products. It's incredible. And then the last shade is the Pocahontas shade. And it is the most warm toned one out of all three of them. And again, it's so pretty. So I'm going to swatch it here. So this is a bit more of an, not orangey, but maybe like terracotta neutral shade. So you can see when I shift my hand here, you can see it. So it's the most warm tone out of the three. So I would say if you prefer a warm toned lip product, then the Pocahontas one is the one for you. And then the more rosy one is the Belle one, and the more pinky one is the Ariel one. So I feel like they did a great job here. They're all not very deep, but because they're this sheer layer of color, I think that it just, it's just the slightest tint. So it doesn't really add depth to your lips, just as a light wash of color. And they feel so good, so moisturizing, and yeah. Okay, so I'm in love with these, and I would even consider picking up backups of these, but I'm not going to do that. But I love all three of them so much, so I really had to get all three of them. So these are ones that I would highly recommend picking up. So I would say if you want to pick up something from this collection, I would highly recommend the Belle palette from Catrice, the brushes from Essence, and the lip balms from Catrice. And the only thing that I wouldn't really recommend is the Mulan palette from Essence. So these are the things that I would recommend, and yes, that's all from me for now. I hope that you found this video helpful or interesting, or both, and thank you all so much for watching. I wish you all a beautiful day.